Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I'm Peter Gross, co-host of the original Wild Kingdom with Marlin Perkins and Jim Fowler. For more than 50 years, Wild Kingdom explored wildlife and our natural world. Tonight's episode and many others focus on the timeless value of wildlife conservation. Wild Kingdom played a critical role in changing public attitudes about the importance of animals for the health of our planet and our own quality of life. We challenge viewers to learn about animals and get involved in conservation in their local communities. That call to action resulted in more visits to local zoos, nature preserves, and even observing animals in their natural habitats. And that connection with animals benefits all of us in the Wild Kingdom. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom is presented by Mutual of Omaha.
Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I don't suppose any animal is more devoted to just plain fun than an otter, like this one. Otters continually invent games for themselves, but there's more to being an otter than playing. While tame animals like this one have all their needs provided for, in the wild, survival demands the mastery of many difficult skills. They're not easy to learn, and as much as a young otter likes to spend time playing games, it had better pay close attention to its mother's instruction in the arts of survival, because it has only 1 year to learn them. When the time comes for a new litter, the mother abandons her year-old youngsters. They're on their own, and survival then depends on how well they've learned their lessons. We followed 2 young otters through this first critical year, starting shortly after they were born on a grassy slope near a pond in northern Wisconsin. We call our story The Year of the Otter.
Spring comes to a woodland stream, and a female otter searches for food. Reluctant to leave the bank, she checks again on her 2 youngsters, still playing quietly at their den in a hollow log. Satisfied they're safe, she resumes her hunt, passing the raccoon that has shared this stream in the weeks since winter ended, catching crayfish along the bank. Ahead, where the stream widens, more springtime arrivals. Mallard ducks. Back from southern waters, they too share the Otter stream. A restless fawn awaits its mother's return. But it's the swimming otter that is watched by a hunter new to the area, a bobcat. She sees the hunting cat, and the cubs have spotted him too. They're easy prey without their mother's protection. The bobcat is too fast for the angry otter. The chase leads far from the den. And now, no longer threatened, the cubs are free to roam. To the youngsters, the hillside is a vast and varied playground filled with endless games. Their play is interrupted by an animal new to them, a possum, carrying her large family along as she searches for insects. She watches the otters approach. Her sharp teeth spoil the game for the otters, and the possum leaves behind the surprised cubs. It's hard to hang on when it's so crowded. If you lose your place, there's only one thing to do. Wait for the next stop. The possum bites are forgotten in the excitement of another discovery, the fawn. The young deer lies motionless whenever danger threatens. But now, the otters are too close. This animal, the otter learns, doesn't bite. It kicks. Eager to repay the painful kick, the short-legged otter cannot overtake the fawn. Finally, he gets his chance. The score is even. The cubs tire of their game. The fawn is too fast and its kicks too powerful. It's time to return to the den. Not even the possum distracts them now, but some temptations are too great to resist. The female returns to find her youngsters patiently waiting right where she left them. A devoted parent, she protects her cubs from every danger, and with the bobcat still on the prowl, she will not leave them alone today. They follow her to the pond, where her fishing trip will be combined with a swimming lesson. Though used to the water, the youngsters are still hesitant, and the female's gentle urging encourages them. Many lessons in the pond's shallow water have taught them to swim, but they still haven't discovered that the water provides food as well as play. They have much to learn, and time is short.
The young otters had learned much about their world and the other animals that share it with them, but they were still a long way from being self-reliant.
Summer follows spring, and the female has moved to an abandoned den at the pond's edge. The ducks still share the quiet waters with the mother otter and her two active youngsters. The young otters have grown almost as large as their mother, but she still hasn't taught them her fishing skills. The youngsters are more interested in play than learning. Again, she leads them on an underwater stalk, demonstrating the art of catching fish. As usual, she is successful. The pond is full of fish, an ideal training ground for her youngsters. Imitating her example, the cubs make a catch too. A snapping turtle. Today, the otters learn an important difference between snapping turtles and fish. Snapping turtles bite. Once in the pond, the turtle will be safe from most animals, but not from otters. The cubs soon learn to avoid the powerful hooked beak. A slow swimmer, the turtle is no match for the swift and agile otters. But the youngsters have learned a healthy respect for those jaws, and as the turtles seek shelter in the rocks, the otters play a less hazardous game. The mother otter, her meal completed, returns to the den. If her youngsters want fish today, they'll have to catch it themselves. But a raccoon searching for crayfish seems more interesting. The otters have often watched the raccoon overturning rocks to find his hard-shelled prey. But today, they're coming too close. Interrupted just as it spotted a crayfish, the hungry raccoon defends its hunting ground. Like everything else, the battle soon turns into play for the otters. The chase becomes a game of tag, and the raccoon is it. Finally, the raccoon convinces the otters that the game must end. The raccoon is an expert at catching crayfish, and to the young otter, it looks easy. He's often seen crayfish in rocks at the pond bottom, and he doesn't search long before he spots one. The cub soon chases it out into the open and discovers that the backward swimming crayfish is fast and elusive. A pinch on the nose, and the chase ends, not far from the second youngster, who still hasn't persuaded the raccoon to share its catch. Finished feeding, the raccoon looks for a quieter spot, and the otters have the pond to themselves. They've learned that snapping turtles and crayfish are difficult prey. But just ahead, they discover fish. Hungry now, they try to repeat their mother's success. A breath of air, and the chase continues. Finally, the exhausted fish is an easy catch. The young otter has learned from his mother's careful example. He can provide food for himself. Now her second youngster gets the idea. Catching food for the first time without their mother's help, the young otters have taken a major step in learning to survive alone. She has taught them well. But there is much yet to be learned, and not many months left before their mother will leave them.
The young otters had met many animals and were developing into expert swimmers. But they still had another challenge ahead of them, the deep snow of the Northland winter.
For the youngsters, winter is the best time of all. Even the female is drawn into the game. Mock battles have replaced the summertime games with rocks and sticks. The female doesn't flinch at the familiar sounds of the playful combat behind her. She moves on to the pond, and the cubs follow. But today, she does not slide onto the frozen pond as usual, and the curious cubs wonder why she stopped. Now they know. The hole could have been dug by many animals, perhaps by the raccoon, or by another animal more dangerous to the otters. The female keeps careful watch as she investigates some cattails. Any fear of an intruder is soon replaced by a new game. A heavy layer of fat and a thick fur coat protect the otters from the chill of the icy water. The pond is still a favorite playground. Whatever the female does, the youngsters eventually imitate. Suddenly, the game ends. The female hurries to her two youngsters and sends them off to the safety of the water. The pond has attracted a visitor. Tensely, the female watches the coyote move closer. She meets the intruder's challenge, and curiosity puts the cubs right behind her. Once again, she warns her youngsters. Only one seeks the water safely. She stands guard as the hungry coyote refuses to abandon its quarry. And now the other youngster climbs into danger. The female races to her cub's defense. With the youngster's help, the mother has driven the coyote off. She might not have won without them. The intruder is quickly forgotten, and the otters resume their endless games. The young otters have learned the last lesson their mother can teach them. They've learned the defensive value of their pond, and they've learned to recognize a great enemy, the coyote. Many weeks must pass before they will be as accomplished as their mother in the arts of survival. But now they know enough to be free of her care. There is one lesson they never need to be taught: how to play. A roll in the powdery snow will soon dry their coats. In a few weeks, early plants will pierce the snow. Winter will soon be over, and the female's time with her youngsters nears its end. Now they can survive alone. She has taught them the skills they need to know during the year of the otter.
The young otters stayed with their mother until they were almost a year old. Then, when the time for her new litter grew near, they were no longer welcome in her territory. They journeyed overland to new ponds, relying now on the skills they learned during their year of instruction. The main danger they will face in years ahead is an encounter with their greatest enemy, man. Where trapping is intense, otters have been greatly reduced in number, but they're hardy, adaptable animals, and enforced game laws, coupled with sound conservation practices, can preserve their place in the wild kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Like what you saw? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more exclusive content. And visit our website at wildkingdom.com.